Hello, welcome to the episode of Space by Teenage Astronaut, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about space junk and its effects on orbit. Let's talk space stuff. Hello, another episode of Space by Teenage Astronaut, and I'm Joe, the Teenage Astronaut, and today, we're going to be talking, like I said earlier, about space junk. As you know, the last couple episodes haven't actually really been talking about my normal stuff. Mainly, just talking about what happened that week. And mainly, because for the past episodes, there hasn't been really anything interesting to talk about. A bunch of Falcon 9 launches. Pretty much that's it. So, I've been trying to find other things to use. And I have. Today, like I said, we're talking about space junk and its effects on orbit. As you know, hopefully, as you might know, if you don't know, then you don't know, and I can talk to you about that. If you don't know what space debris is specifically, and its effects on orbit, or the Kessler Syndrome, pretty much, the Kessler Syndrome is when there's enough stuff in, actually, I can even tell you the exact definition of the Kessler Syndrome. The Kessler Syndrome, proposed by the Kessler Syndrome proposed by NASA scientist R.J. Kessler in 1978 is a scenario in which the density of objects in low Earth orbit due to space pollution is high enough that collisions between objects could cause a cascade in which each collision generates space debris that increases the likelihood of future collisions. One implication is that the distribution of debris in orbit between those space activities and use of satellites in specific orbital ranges difficult for many generations. So, pretty much, in order to simplify that, if we're not careful and we get enough stuff into low Earth orbit, we will generate enough debris that will cause enough debris to be in orbit via collisions and other things that we will pretty much have generated our own shield against space. Which would be a problem, because, national defense uses space, and also, people on the ISS would have a very fun day, if that were to occur. They'd run out of supplies, and they'd slowly die, because they also wouldn't be able to come back, keep in mind, because, they wouldn't be able to because they'd hit stuff going back. It's also very likely that if that were to occur, the space station might end up being lost in the process even, and everybody would die. So, the reason the Kessler Syndrome would be such a bad thing is because economies would likely collapse, and much of it would go really badly. Believe it or not, space is very important to, society, just in general. Certain countries that were at one point couldn't really do much of anything apart from foam have been able to become a lot better, have internet and things. For instance, India is, believe it or not, those space programs have been very successful and is getting better and better by the launch. But what we're looking at two different things that are how multiple organizations are attempting to stop the Kessler Syndrome before it even occurs. We're looking at Northrop Grumman and the MEV, and we're also going to be looking at the ESA and ClearSpace's craft, ClearSpace 1, which will be missions to remove debris from orbit. And we're also going to be looking at space collisions and satellite collisions that have occurred in the past. And then we'll also be looking at, that's all I'm going to be looking at. So, let's get into it on this episode of Space Stuff by Teenage Astronaut. Okay. The Mission Extension Vehicle. Go ahead and do that. Mission MEV-1 mission overview. By the way, this video is on, I think it's the Northrop Grumman. I think it's the Northrop Grumman. Yeah, it's the official Northrop Grumman YouTube channel. I also have it, for the YouTube, I'll have it linked in the description, and same with the audio version, even though I don't have any reason to. So, as normal, no audio, as I'm your audio. So, Intelsat 9, so by the way, this is for MEV-1, the Force Mission Extension Vehicle. So this is Intelsat 901, IS 901, it's operational, it's all that. It's in a geostationary orbit, and you probably know what happens to geostationary orbits. When the satellite is at the end of its lifetime, it goes into a graveyard orbit, generally. But, what they want to do with it, MEV-1 launched it from Baikonur, Kazakhstan. Proton rocket. Launches Eutelsat 5 and MEV-1. This is what that covers. And then, the two craft that were launched separate. And you see the way this works, the way the MEV works, is it deploys its antennas, its orbit, and all that after a launch, obviously. But it's pretty much what it wants to do is go up to the craft, to the satellite, and it wants to go to, and then attaches to the engine bell of it. Right, that's how it, because satellites aren't built to dock, right? So it attaches to the satellite and to the engine bell specifically, and then it will attach to it and pretty much become a satellite bus, like goes on here. And by the way, this happened last year. Like, this happened a while ago. This is not new. This happened last year. And MEV-2 also actually launched last year, and one Aviator thing it was going to be docking with. Yeah, it constantly approaches the satellite, docks and all that. And the reason this is so big is because the reason I'm featuring it is because it will hopefully stop the creation of space junk, right? But really, for geostationary, because that's what the big thing is, because like the graveyard orbits are, believe it or not, starting to get full, which is hard to believe. Like that's how much that goes up there. And what will occur is, once they want to get close to running out of fuel, they go in that graveyard orbit. What the MEV wants to do is pretty much, when it's about to hit that point, it grabs it, and does the exact opposite, pretty much, right? And it becomes a satellite bus, pretty much, and will help it go to space. It'll help it keep going, and eventually it will leave it after putting a graveyard orbit, and then it'll move on to the next customer. Now, you may think this doesn't really reduce space junk. It kind of does. It's really just kind of putting it off. That can be good enough, because putting it off can give us time to figure out a different way to deal with it than just eating it into a graveyard orbit. We'll maintain it for 5 years till 2025. And then in 2025, which is 4 years from now, it'll be a while, it's the end of the service, and MEV-1 relocates IS 901 to the graveyard orbit. And then it undocks from it, and then it will undock from it, and proceed to the next client. All MEVs will do like this, right? They will all do that for some amount of time, and then they'll leave. This is, by the way, this is a space logistics project. There we go. So, that's just a thing it talks about. But the thing is, the Mission Extension Vehicle 1, MEV-1, the industry's first satellite life extension vehicle, is designed to dock to satellites whose fuel is nearly depleted. Once connected to its client satellite, MEV uses its own self-sufficient fuel supply to extend the satellite's lifetime. When the customer no longer desires MEV surface, spacecraft will undock and move on to the next client satellite. And MEV-2, if you're just wondering, docked with the Intelsat IS-1002 on April 12th of this year, and will likely be with it until 2026, if I'm right. But yeah, I will have a link to the website that's the Space Logistics website, and talks about MEV and also MRV, which is a different thing, and also MEP. And these are all different things, and they'll talk, and it talks about them. But you know, that's not what I wanted to look at, as I'm trying to look at craft that are of right now, or the very close future. And these, it doesn't have like any like there is no confirmed launch date whatsoever, like not even a year. So I'm not mentioning them. I mean, like, I'm not gonna go into them and saying that it's a thing to look at. So next, we are going to look at satellite collisions, and specifically ones that have happened with either a satellite and a piece of debris collided, or like actual two different satellites collided. We're going to talk about the ones that have done damage that has been actually somewhat severe. So the first one was in 1996, where it was a collision between a French satellite, this Cerise military reconnaissance satellite. That is very likely, I probably butchered that, but that's how I can say it. And debris from an Ariane rocket. I do not believe it was destroyed. I'm not sure it was destroyed. It probably was. Maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. And then the next one on this list is from 2009, collision between the Iridium-33 communication satellite and the derelict Washington Cosmos 2251 spacecraft. Yeah, that was kind of short. Which resulted in the destruction of both satellites. By the way, the Washington Cosmos 2251 was a Russian satellite that was retired in 1993. Or no. No, that's from the Taiwan. The Cosmos 2251 satellite was a satellite that was in orbit and eventually collided with Iridium-33, which was a satellite from Motorola. You know who that is. You know who that is. Oh wait, what? No, it wasn't. What the heck? Okay then, that isn't. What the heck? Come on, give me that. This isn't right. Okay, well, okay, never mind. The Iridium-33 satellite was a communication satellite launched by Russia for Iridium communications. And the Cosmos 2251 was the one I talked about. In 2013, a collision between debris from the Fangyun FY-1C satellite and the Russian Blitz Nano satellite caused. It probably both were destroyed. I mean, it was debris from the satellite. By the way, the Fangyun F1YC satellite, I probably watched that too, was a weather satellite that had been launched into polar orbit, and in 2007 was destroyed. And was destroyed in 2007 in a test of an anti-satellite missile. And the Blitz Nano satellite was a Russian satellite launched on September 17th, 2009, as a secondary payload on a Soyuz 2.1B/frigate from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The satellite is totally passive and spherical, and is tracked using satellite laser ranging SLR by the International Laser Ranging Service. So we're trying to show it was just damaged. The last one, it was also in 2013 in May, was a collision between two CubeSats, Ecuador's NEE-01 Picasso and Argentina's Cubug-1, and the product of the debris cloud from cloud on a Cyclone 3 upper stage. Or Cyclone 3 upper stage. Left over from the launch of Cosmos 1666. But yeah, those are just some that I talked about. By the way, I personally think it was kind of stupid to do what China did with that weather satellite and obliterate it. Because, like, if you want to test destroying satellites, you can do that on Earth. It's really annoying. And also, like, you can test it without actually destroying a satellite. Pretty much, it created a lot of space junk. And also, as you remember, very recently, the ISS was hit by a piece of space junk and damaged Canadarm, too. It wasn't badly damaged, but it was still damaged. And that's the thing. But yeah, now the last thing I'm going to talk about this, is how the ESA recently commissioned the world's first space debris removal service, like debris removal system. So this one is actually attempting to clean up space debris. Unlike the MEV, which is trying to delay it, this one's actually trying to clean it up. So this is the page for it. It's like on like the actual ESA website, so I'm gonna show it happily. But yeah, it's a very interesting website. It talks pretty much about the company making the thing, ClearSpace, and also and then also talks about the craft, which is ClearSpace 1. What's the name of the mission anyways, and it will be launched in 2025, so 4 years from now, and it is hopefully going, so the ClearSpace 1 mission will target the Vespa Vega secondary pillar adapter. Its upper stage left in an approximately 1 kilometer by 660 kilometer altitude orbit after the third flight of ESA's Vega launch back in 2013. With a mass of 100 kilograms, the Vespa is close in size to a small satellite. While its relatively simple shape and sturdy construction make it suitable for scope before progressing to larger, more challenging captures by follow-up missions, eventually including multi-object capture. The ClearSpace 1 Chaser, I think that's the name of the craft, will be launched into a low 100-kilometer orbit for commissioning for a little test before being raised to target orbit for rendezvous and capture using a quartet of robot arms under ESA's supervision. The combined Chaser plus Vespa will then be deorbited to go over the atmosphere. And that is a picture. And I think that's like the Vespa, and that's the satellite. That's what I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool. It definitely fills me with joy that there are people out there that are attempting to get rid of space junk, not just put it off at the MEV. Like, I remember when the MEV had its flight, that was a big thing. Because it definitely is, because, you know, it's at least doing something. But it'll be very interesting to see how this whole clear space thing goes. Because, yeah. By the way, I do have some small announcements to make involving podcast streams and office spaces, and logos, and also seasons. Ooh. So, let's get right into that right now. Okay, so the announcements I have to make about my podcast, streams, office spaces, all that. So, as you know, I am currently in Season 1 of Spaces for Teenage Astronaut. Season 1, I have decided will be going on until the end of November of this year. Okay? At the final episode, I'll talk about it will be the season's finale. I will not announce what I'll be doing for that episode yet, but I will be doing something that very special for me to do. Will not be normal whatsoever. And that was season 2, but also the big thing I'll talk about is my logo. As you know, I have this thing here that you see right now. That will possibly change. I'm not sure if I want to change it. But what I do know what changes is the episode covers. As you know right now, the episode cover is a little planet and white background that says space stuff by TA. That will change for the next one. It will still say the same thing, space stuff by TA, but it'll likely look different and whatnot. Also, I want to talk, hopefully, audio quality will be better. But the big thing is my office space. Currently, times I can record are very dependent on other people, because I'm currently, my office, I say in air quotes, is more of a table in the living room of my house. But soon, due to renovation projects involving flooring and whatnot, I will be moving to a thing I'm calling the Joe Pod, it's currently under planning and work on right now, and it will be in the basement. We'll have a green screen and so much of stuff, and from there I'll be able to stream whenever I want. I'll be able to record an episode whenever I want, and I will not need to worry about other people interrupting me, as I will be away from that. So, that will hopefully I'll be able to, and also though when I do that, is I will have a webcam. Because if you watch any of my streams, which I haven't done it, I'll do it today. I do on some of them have a webcam that it's a pretty good one that I use. I just don't use it because you see my entire house behind me. And hopefully I will be able to not have that. I'm going upstairs. I'll have a green screen recording thing, and I'll be able to use my webcam and whatnot, and you'll be able to see me, which is why, like I said, I'm not sure it'll change. It's very possible that next time there will be a little me in it, not just specified TA, there'll be a little me too. We'll see. But yeah, I have definitely enjoyed this podcast. I love it very much. But the big thing though is, if you noticed, I took a massive break over June. For almost all of June, I just braked. And if you didn't know about that, you could have. Because if you don't follow my Twitter, you should. Because I post updates about this podcast on my Twitter and streams and whatnot. And I also just kind of post things about my life. I will also soon be posting memes, too. Because I posted one today about Elon Musk's birthday, and that's been that's so far my most successful tweet ever. So I expect more of those to come. But it looks like, though, next episode will very likely be normal. As they'll have the Transporter 2 mission we'll definitely talk about, because that's something exciting to me, because I'm in a stalling mission. And also, theoretically, as of right now, Tubular Bells Part 1 will hopefully launch next week. We will see. But it is actually Monday right now, as I'm recording this. And as you know, this episode will come out on Saturday. In fact, it is actually still June, as of the day I'm recording this. In fact, it's June 28th. But I got free time, and I will see how next month goes. Hopefully, I'll be able to do my podcast where I want to next month. But plans change, we'll see. But yep, I will see you all next week. And this is Joe the Change Astronaut. Going quiet. Signing off.